Come on, Gillen. This is a free roll here as well. Come on, Jane Howard. Come on, Howard. Come on, Howard. Come on, Howard. Yes, Howard. Come on, boys. Let's go. Yes! Come on, man. Come on, boys. Come on, baby. Come on, Davey. Come on, Ireland! Come on, lads. Come on. Come on, Sam. Come on. Oh, so you're bringing the coffee box. Yeah. Come on, Davey! Come on, Davey! Come on, Davey!
Come on, mate.
On your experience, David.
Right, stop, buddy. Great shot, mate. Great shot. Good Go, Felix, come on!
Come on, David.
What about that? Look, probably not.
Come on, Sharky, come on.
Yeah, you know, it's nothing to go to.
Here. Right one, Bella. Good boy, Sharky. Do it. Come on, Sharky, that's a great break.
30 seconds.
Come on, Sharky.
Can we have demolition team, please, main section?
Yes, Davy. All right, Davy. Come on, Davy. Come on, Simon, come on, mate! We're there! Let's go, Morris! Come on! Yes, Davy. Oh, McQuillan! Come on, Simon, come on!
Come on.
One more frame, lads. Come on. Ali G, come on.
Oh, you killer me! Come on, boy! Come on, lads.
Come on.
Come on, Ali. Come on.
Approach an open table. So just in case I wasn't being heard before, we're coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool, in England. It's my pleasure to commentate this match for you this afternoon. We're watching one of the wheelchair round robin events between Frankie Gillen and Gary Swift. Gary's been a previous winner. Now Frankie Gillen broke and Gary Swift came in for a open table, and looks like he's potted a red ball first. And that looks like it may be a foul shot because no ball has hit the cushion. And that will give Frankie 2 shots on the yellows. Both these players are from England. And so far, I'll tell you where they stand on the ladder as far as performances so far. So Frankie's played 2 and he's won both of his first matches, whereas Gary has won 1 and lost 1. So at this early stage of the championship, Gary's a little bit further down the ladder, and Frankie is sitting second with Ryan Christen of South Africa at the top of the ladder. It's still early stages. So Frankie's negotiated jigger shot here. These are the yellow balls. He's trying to put this yellow in the bottom right hand corner. He's played a very good shot, very steady with all the equipment. And of course on the table all the same rules apply. And pretty amazing to watch this wheelchair event. They've developed their own skill set in certain ways depending on what their disability. fascinating to watch. It's a good effort there on the plant shot. Didn't quite get the right angle to pot that yellow ball. I don't think he realised he had another shot, and his opponent quite sportingly has let him know. There's good camaraderie between these players, which is great to see. So every so often, you'll pardon me if I have a sneak look at the other table on the left, where our own Isabella De Giorgio from Australia is playing Jamie Mantle. I believe it's a round of 32 junior singles match. My prime attention will be on the wheelchair event. So Gary Swift back to the table. He's playing on the red balls. We're going to try and run this red to the bottom right hand pocket. It's a good shot. And of course these players are playing best of 7, so it'll be a race to 4. At the bottom of the screen you'll see how the previous match concluded between Ireland and South Africa. That was in the seniors. So he's just run off that red, promoted it, and sent the yellow to the back end of the table. So it's Gary Swift. Sorry, it's Frankie now, Frankie Gillen, lining up this yellow into the bottom left. And we didn't have a look to see if that yellow was touching the cushion. I think they're just giving each other the benefit of the doubt that it wasn't. Of course, when you have a shot, object ball or a or white ball, need to hit a cushion. Frankie, having a good look at the table. So he's going to Frankie's on the yellows. Just promoted that yellow a little bit closer to the pocket. Run back to Bork. You can see in the other match that Isabella De Giorgio has taken a 1-0 lead over Jamie Mantle. So Gary Swift here playing on the reds. We're going to try and, I think he was trying to double it right back to the ball, which is over the top right hand pocket. Unfortunately double kissed. Frankie Gillen here, been coming to these championships for many years now, as long as I can remember. I can't remember him missing a year since we started the wheelchair events. Just taking that ball, top left hand corner, potted that nicely. try and bring himself to this end so that he can have a go at potting all these balls that's in the pack. He's playing this yellow. So played it to the other side of the table and played into the corner pocket yellow. Nearly potted it, but he's certainly taking command of this this left pocket, this left bottom pocket. Which will make it quite awkward for Gary Swift and the two reds that are in there in that cluster of balls with the black and the two yellows. So he's on the first sensible thing. That's quite a good shot because he's basically promoted all balls now. All the red balls are now pottable, except in fact all the red balls are pottable. The one nearest that yellow in the middle near the black spot is just taking a more negotiating position. In fact, you'd have to say that there's a slight advantage now with Gary Swift because Frankie's got these two yellows at the bottom right hand of the table, which to get position you've really got to come behind them between the balls and the bottom cushion nearest bottom of the screen. So let's see where Gary plays now. He's restricted in that he may take the opportunity to play that close red because he can try and pot that either in the top right hand pocket the way the screen is now, or he looks like he's going to try and pot it in the middle, which just missed. That was the other option. So Frankie's racing back to the table. Quite fascinating to watch how they overcome the disability to be able to play some great pool. Of course, you saw Frankie pull out a triangle. I'm sure he carries that with him. So it's a nice plant. Sorry, this. So Frankie just folds that back. He's going to put that in its rightful place. So he doesn't need the referee to assist him there, or anyone else for that matter. You see that he leans behind him. He must have a little section there where he keeps his chalk compartment. You can see the chalk there in the just inside the screen there. A little slot there so that he's not fiddling with chalk that much disclosed or anything. It's very clever. When he needs it, he just reaches back. So Frankie thought he'd be proactive with what's happening in this bottom right hand pocket. I think he actually probably played to try and pot that red and do a deliberate foul in order to sort of take command of this bottom right hand corner. So let's see what Gary does now. So Gary's on reds. Because that red, if you get the right position, will tightly play off the cushion, I believe, get the yellow out and possibly pot the red in. He's even looking at something at the moment in this corner. I'm interested to see how he plays this, because if he plays with where you can see the red, it looks like he's shaping to play off the cushion to get the right angle to get the red. He's actually hasn't concerned himself with any of that fancy stuff I was talking about. He simply played that red out and just promoted that ball. And of course these two opponents would know each other's games exceptionally well. So he'd be playing the shots that he thinks is going to be conducive to giving him the highest probability of winning this frame. So there you see Gary Swift in the background chalking his cue. He looks like he just has a little pocket in the side of his vest where he keeps his chalk. Unlike Frankie, who keeps it over his back shoulder in the little compartment in the wheelchair. So he's going to play these plant on this yellow, probably try and put it in the middle. That hasn't gone too well. And if you just sneak over, you can see that Isabella Di Giorgio has taken a 2-0 lead in the junior singles. She's an exceptionally composed young lady in women's pool and junior pool in Australia. In fact, I think she's one of the most composed juniors I've ever seen come through the ranks. Very mature for her age. So Frankie here. Playing down that rail, pots that yellow, so he's got that pocket now as well. So Gary Swift, he's got reds over 3 pockets, he's got 3 pockets covered and 1 loose red. And of course Frankie will be coming in now with 2 shots on the yellows, but you can see there's that yellow which is tied up next to this red in this bottom left hand pocket. So that pocket's no longer covered. He's potted red. This is Gary Swift that must be at the table. He's played red. Now he's obviously going to go for the pot out here. Played that nicely. Now he can take this red that's over the pocket in the bottom right hand corner, just hit it a little bit of side, or simply hit the from where he sits, it'll be right hand side of the red, to take his red up the other end of the table, so that he can pot that last ball which is over that pocket. We've played that with a bit of side. See I'm sure if we got a close-up you would have seen the ball still spinning. So, and now he's got this last red which is over the pocket. Can be a little bit tricky because you've got the yellow there that you don't want to bounce into that, you get caught up and stay up this end of the table, but you may play this with bottom and right hand side. No, he's just played it natural. He's just going to take the natural angle, and he's happy to just have a go at that black in that top right hand corner pocket. And he's just missed the pot there. So that's going to give Frankie an opportunity to have a go at this frame and pot out. Apologies, no, he's got 2 shots obviously. So he's lining up with the, and he makes no mistake of that. Gary Swift of England, takes the first frame of this round robin match in the wheelchair event, and he leads the match 1-0 against Frankie Gillen of England. And we're coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool, England. These are the 2018 World 8-Ball Pool Federation World Championships. This event's been going now for well over a week. We had all the men's singles start in the first few days until we came along to the weekend where there was a big opening ceremony on Sunday afternoon. All the team events had arrived by then, and since then we've been playing teams, and of course some individual events in under 23s, wheelchair and juniors. We're blessed to have a wheelchair round robin match on live streaming for you, and it's my pleasure to commentate. This is Joe Fanto, President World 8-Ball Pool Federation. Of course, this WPF live stream is a production of Yvonne Armitage and ably assisted by Stan Grant. We're ready to go for a break in the second frame. As I said, these players at present, it's Frankie that got off to a 2-2. He's played to 1-2, and Gary Swift has played 2 and 1-1, lost 1. So Gary would certainly want to keep pegging, would like to win this match to get himself up the ladder. So at this stage there appears to be a yellow ball potted. Sorry, no yellow's potted, a red ball potted. And reds have been nominated, and a red potted. That's a lovely pot down the rail up to the bottom right hand corner, as we can see on screen. But next red for Gary is that one nearest the left hand rail. He's just nudged that towards the pocket. He couldn't get the right angle there to pot that. Just a nice double on the left table to Jamie Mantle of England to pull a frame back against Isabella De Giorgio of Australia. It's one of the junior, I think, last 32 singles matches. We're here with Frankie Gillen. Frankie's doubled that yellow and played that nicely. That hobbled to the edge of the pocket and fell in. I'm pleased about that. So he can continue his break. Gary making way for Frankie. Move to the so Frankie's charged up the table to have a good look at the lie of the land. Races back. Just promoted that ball to an area where he thinks it's more conducive to being potted. Certainly goes past that red into the bottom left hand pocket when he gets an opportunity. So this is Gary Swift at the moment, who leads this match 1-0. Won the first frame. So he's doubling that red all the way back, and it's nicely finished over that top right hand pocket. It's very easily potable up there. So again, I think he's going to have to put out the equipment if he's going to play from this end. So looks like he's going to try and play that yellow. The way he's shaping up, I think, to the top left-hand pocket. Maybe even try to double it twice to bring it back up to this bottom left end of the table. So Gary Swift now at the table on the reds. He's going to play this red nearest that yellow on the left of the table, run it down to his pocket as well. So he's starting to take command of that pocket, but not totally yet, because there's a big gap there that any balls will fit through there. Okay, so this is a wheelchair match between Gary Swift and Frankie Gillen. I've been told by the producers that I've been a little bit quiet. Apologise for that if that's the case. But he's just come in and played around with a few of the technical buttons in here. Hopefully I'm coming across a little bit better now. And so we're watching a match here between Gary Swift of England and Frankie Gillen of England. It's a wheelchair event, as you can see, and Gary is on the reds. Looks like he's not keen to pot any of these reds yet that are in this bottom left-hand pocket. I must admit I've got to learn from these players, because I've probably been a little bit gung-ho in my attempt at coming back to pool this year. I get told that I tend to pot the balls a little bit too early, or not playing the right tactical shot. Which I think for someone like myself who loves watching, and I've been blessed with being able to watch the best QS in the world for so many years, I get drawn in between trying to do what the great players do, which I don't have the skill to do so, and then the conservative game of trying to play a team game at a normal pub competition level. So I get caught between a rock and a hard place, so to speak, and somehow my teammates have always got something to say as to the way I played. But that doesn't matter. The important thing is to have fun. I really enjoyed getting back and seeing some of the old friends that I made in pool in the early years of my pool. So watching a match here between Frankie Gillen and Gary Swift. So now it's Frankie at the table. Frankie's on the yellow balls. Yeah, look, just watching his, that's a lovely shot. He's potted that in the middle. So he looks straight down the cue when he aims up. With that camera angle we can see him bridging. So you can see how he's bridging as best he possibly can. Be trying to form a firm bridge with that cue up against his hand. And just watch that, and kind of lost some of its direction as to where he meant to hit that yellow. But I think it's still amazing that these players play at the level they do. So it looks like Gary's going to play off the cushion to play on the red and disturb the yellow out of there and take command of that bottom right hand pocket. That was an excellent shot by Gary Swift. Frankie's having a good look here. Probably bring that yellow away, bring it towards this bottom right hand pocket. He's having a good look at it. And of course he's not going to play what I've caught. He's playing it to the left hand of the table. Maybe he's looking to get in between the cushion and that red. And he's played a good deliberate foul there. He's taking control of that pocket. So it means that Gary's got a red ball tied in there, which is going to take some work to dislodge out of there before it'll pot anywhere. He's played a great shot there. That's a great pot by Gary Swift. He's actually potted that ball in the bottom right hand corner and slid across and disturbed those three balls, which has opened up that bottom left pocket. That's excellent. Now the way they sit, he's opened that up. Of course, he's also promoted that ball for his opponent, in Frankie. He must have picked up two shots there, which I didn't notice. Oh yeah, of course, it was a deliberate foul. Frankie played that deliberate foul to the bottom left-hand corner. So looks like Gary's going to play that back. He's potted that, which that gives him opportunity at this frame, because he can pot that red at the top right hand of table and play it in a way where play with a bit of bottom and maybe a little bit of side, where he can come back for this red at the bottom end of table, the red closest bottom of the screen. Just watch there. He hasn't been too perturbed about, but he's still got the angle. He can play that on our right side, or his left side, pot it in the bottom left-hand pocket, and his white will go around to get position on black. He may even nudge that black. That's exactly what he's done. Unfortunately, he would have liked a better result than that, the fact that he nudged it. So he's probably just left himself a double here. He's not taking too much time to have a look at it. He must know the shot off by heart. And that he does, and Gary Swift of England takes a 2-0 lead in this round-robin match between Gary Swift and Frankie Gillen. So Gary Swift 2, Frankie Gillen 0. And Gary Swift is a former winner of this event. So he'll be quite pleased with that clearance. And Frankie will be probably wondering whether it was a good idea to play that deliberate foul. But it's all very easy in hindsight. Of course, we're coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool, England, for the 2018 World Championships. Wherever you might be watching, Southern Hemisphere, UK, it's great to have you watching this live stream. we're very proud to be able to bring it to you, and we hope to improve it year in, year out as technology improves and resources become more available. So little Frankie seemed to struggle to get some strength into that break. You know, he did get a legal breakaway, but probably not quite the timing that he would have liked. Again, you see him go back to his corner and re-chalk his cue. He reached over his shoulder. So Gary Swift here organising his equipment. Looks like this is the bridge. He's going to have to bridge over quite a few balls there to play that yellow nearest the bottom right-hand pocket. Scores all tied up in the juniors match of the last 32. Table on the left. So this is Gary Swift. He's trying to align the white ball, just slowly moving the bridge, which is very wise for anybody. It's not good to get to the table with a bridge or a triangle and start flashing it around, because as soon as you disturb something, that's a foul. So he's being very careful, and plays that white exceptionally well. And of course, you still got to be careful when you take all the equipment away, which is what Gary's doing here, and using whatever means or resource he has in order to get it all clear. And also for Gary, look, it folds down to an item of a couple of feet, which he just slots back into his chair and gets on for the next shot. So now he's taking that ball on the left rail, just promoting it to the middle of the table and leaving his white in the bottom right hand corner of the table in a defensive position, trying not to leave his opponent too much. So this is Frankie Gillen at the table now on reds. He's probably going to try and cut this red across to the bottom left-hand pocket. I can say I had a severely handicapped son for 16 years of our life, who used to love watching us play pool. Never quite got to the stage where he could play, but he certainly enjoyed watching the family gathering around the pool table and having a hit. That's a nice shot by Gary Swift. Looks like he's got intentions of putting that yellow in the bottom right hand pocket. He just overplayed that a little bit and missed the pot. So Frankie comes around, trying to work out what he can do here, the way the reds are set up. I'm not sure if those two reds close to the black, whether one of them, he's looking at it right now and looking to see whether that red comes past. No, it doesn't. It doesn't come past the black into this bottom left-hand pocket. So he's fairly restricted in what he can go for here. He might just have this this red, which is nearest this bottom cushion. He can either double it into the opposite pocket, or try and cut it down to the this bottom right-hand pocket. He's lining it up, I think, to cut it into the bottom right. No, he played the double. That's a lovely shot. It's a good shot, Frankie. I know he, just look on his face, he would have preferred it to just sit over the pocket to take command of it, but he's still got that other red there that he can achieve that if he really wants to do that. I think that's what his intentions are. Taking a good look at it. Okay, so what he's done is he's blocked that yellow from potting down, which is a good defensive shot. Now this match, of course, is best of 7. That's that green 7 that you see between the 2 and the 0. That indicates that it's the best of 7. So basically it's a race to 4. So as soon as one of these players hits 4, then the match is won. So Gary's playing that ball out, and is he going to go in off? He certainly does. So Frankie's going to get 2 shots from the balk line, anywhere behind that balk line within that rectangle. He has 2 shots on reds, which he can try and create something to win this frame. So looks like he's going to try and cut this red into the middle pocket, I would say, the way he's aiming up. He's played that very nicely. Nice shot, Frankie. Now I suspect he'll try and cut this one into that middle pocket as well. He's very pensive and full of concentration. That's another pot he's managed to muster up, and he's come out nicely on that red because he can run it down to the red he's got over the pocket, the bottom left pocket, so I'm sure he'll go for that. Yes, every time I watch these guys it brings back fond memories of my late son Daniel. I'm sure if he was still around, the technology these days would have enabled him to play as well. So Frankie Gillen races around the table to see the lie of the land, to work out the next shots. Trying to sort out what he's going to do with those 2 reds that are close to the black. Because neither of them are potable, he's got to promote them somehow, and it's hard to sort of see how you can play off any of these. You can't do too much at this stage unless you were to avoid the pot. But I would have thought his first shot would be to run that red onto this red over the pocket first. He's reaching for the rest. Or is he thinking of disturbing those 2 reds first? He's looking at those 2 reds, so it looks like that's where he's aiming. He's going to sort of take the gamble and just break those 2 reds out. He's pushed the black to the cushion as well, so that's restricted as to where it goes. So now for his second shot, because he's done well to pot a few balls after he got those 2 shots from Bork. So now he's probably going to run this red to the top left-hand corner. That looks just off. It's good effort by Frankie. So it's Gary Swift back to the table, a former world champion. Looks like he's going to run that yellow to the top left-hand pocket. And that sort of just promoted there. It's he's missed the pot. And Frankie's trying to work out which one he's going to take first. You may want to take that one of the ball on the top, pot that top left-hand ball into that pocket, and run his white to the right, and bring this red over this pocket here on the bottom right-hand side. Because if he pots that, if he finishes right, he'll still have a shot on this red near the black towards the bottom left-hand pocket. I'm sure he's trying to negotiate that. It seems to be the obvious way to go for me, but he may have a different preference. So this is, yeah, so he's got the equipment out. So he's, looks like he's also a left-hander. So he's going to putting this triangle in place. It's a good shot of he's got the rest in place, and he's looking down the shaft of the cue with his left eye by the looks, and he's come out as we predicted to try and pot that red on the right of table into this bottom right hand corner. And then I think he's got a good angle, he's got a good lie there to get that white into a position where he can also get on the red for the black, you know, that's close to the black, to be able to put that into the bottom left hand pocket. So this is Frankie Gillen trying to get a score on the board in this match. That's a nice pot, and he doesn't seem to be happy with that. He's got a funny mannerism there. He's just asked for a total, I think. Yeah, because that white is very close to the yellow. It looks like Isabella De Giorgio has snuck out to a 3-2 lead against Jamie Mantle of England. I'm sure there's plenty of viewers in Australia watching that one. So Frankie's trying to work out how he's going to still play the shot that he wanted to play on that red, which is closest to black. So I think he was looking at the angle off the cushion. Now he's having second thoughts because he's afraid of, he figures it's not a good idea to foul at this stage of the match, and it looks like he's going to go up the table for what's an easier angle to try and hit this red that's over the left pocket, bottom left pocket. There we go. That's looks like it's all there. It's not a bad shot. He hasn't done too much damage as far as bringing that red out, and he's left the white on the cushion, so it increases the degree of difficulty for Gary Swift's next shot. So he's having a good look at this. He may try and cut that yellow nearest the right middle pocket into the middle pocket. No, he's just simply decided to play the balls to the other end of the table. Send the white down the other end. But there's still left a shot for Frankie to play on this red, which is over the left pocket. That's what he's lining up for. He's played that nicely. It didn't drop, but that's okay because he didn't have a very good shot left after that, and yet he's left Gary Swift very tight for the next shot on yellows.
Can we have the captain's iron fives top table, please?
So that's simply promoted another ball closer to the pocket at the balk end of the table. Frankie having a good look. Great to see these wheelchair players competing, and the World 8-Ball Pool Federation is very proud to be able to put on this competition for them. Looks like Frankie's struggling to reach here. He may have to actually he's trying to avoid getting the rest. And he's potted that ball. Now he wants to he'll probably just promote this red ball out, put it across, have it as close to the pocket as he can. The angle that it's at there, he's not going to be able to get it very close, but it'll be in the general vicinity. No, he's given it a bit of a ride. Maybe he fancied potting it in the middle, but he's put it out in the open. He knows that Gary's going to have to shoot the other end of the table sooner or later, and I guess he'll hope for a miss up that end of the table. The black is on this rail, which you need to get position up this end of the table in order to be able to pot that. It's on near the rail. So Gary Swift, what can he do here? He's got potable balls. He might want to take that yellow on the right, but no, he's going to play that yellow to the middle because he may be able to get a snooker as well. He simply played safe and tried to play for a snooker. I figure Gary probably wants two shots if he can get them. So Frankie's got a really awkward bridge here to try and, but if he tries to get out of the snooker, he may not be bridging over there, over the black anyway, over the 8-ball. He may be playing off a cushion, which will give him a different angle away from to the side of the black. So he's chalking up at the moment. So he's sort of grabbed that cue in his arm. It's good to watch the facial expressions sometimes they always tell you something. So looks like he's just going to deliberate foul on the black, I think. Yeah, that's exactly what he's done. And he figures he's going to leave a awkward bridge for his opponent coming in. So Gary Swift has got two shots here. maybe a case of knowing his opponent. It's not too bad though, the way he's having to bridge there. He's missed the pot, he's still got another shot. So Gary Swift with one shot remaining on the yellows. He's leading 2 frames still in this match. It's a best of 7, so it's a race to 4. So you can see in the last team event, which was a seniors team event, Ireland defeated South Africa quite convincingly 18-7. And a match in progress on the other table is Isabella De Giorgio of Australia and Jamie Mantle. And another frame must have ticked over, didn't quite see who potted the black. So Gary Swift here, he might play a snooker. That's what he tries, but unfortunately he's gone in off. And this has given an opportunity to Frankie Gillen to come to the table with 2 shots. If he can pot that red with the first and then leave himself a couple of shots on that black, he should be able to manoeuvre his way around setting himself up with the black with that first shot. That first shot of 2. So let's see where he takes this red, whether he opts for the middle or whether he looks to put that red in the bottom right hand pocket there, bottom right hand of screen as well. Frankie Gillen. And he's unfortunately didn't pot it with the first, so he's going to be potting that red. I think from what I can see from here, the angle that he's left himself, he's going to be taking the white ball away from the black, but he doesn't need to play this pot too hard, so he shouldn't go too far away. He should still leave himself a cut on that black to pot in this bottom left hand corner. Frankie Gillen of England concentrating. So he's played that firmly, come back the other side, and you can see the angle there on the black to try and, if he's going to try and cut that black across to the right hand pocket. I'm not sure, he may just play it off the cushion to the middle of the table. That's a nice effort. That's a great shot by Frankie Gillen of England, and he fights back. He's got a frame back. 1 frame Frankie and 2 to Gary Swift in this wheelchair match. And Stan Grant racking up the balls for the players. So Frankie will be very pleased with that pot on the black. He wouldn't have been so pleased in missing that first red. But after he made amends and potted it and left himself where he was, he really put off a really nice cut on that black to give him a bit of confidence, I think, in this match, and see what he can do to arrest the ascendancy from Gary Swift. But it's Gary Swift to break in this match. Of course, we're coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool in England, from wherever you might be watching in the world. I'd say there's probably a few watching, in fact quite a few watching from Australia, particularly with the match going on left of screen. Isabella De Giorgio, I notice, is 4-2 up now. And that match is best of 11, which means it's a race to 6. Back to The frame that I'm commentating, Gary Swift of England and Frankie Gillen of England, both wheelchair competitors, and it's their wheelchair event here at the 2018 World Championships of 8-ball pool. Of course, it's the World 8-ball Pool Federation rules, WPF rules as they're known. They come up for revision again, so the respective countries can go away and see if there's any ideas that have developed in their particular countries. They have till the 28th of February to present them to the WPF committee to distribute amongst the various countries, for the various countries to have time to have a good look at them, and then come along and vote on them at any proposed changes at next year's annual general meeting. Of course, at the championships here in Blackpool next year in June 2019. And of course, if any changes do get adopted at that AGM, they will come into effect on the 1st of January 2020. So that's a pot on that red for Gary Swift. He's potted ball to the left of screen. Is on reds. He's got a red he can pot across to the middle left pocket, or he's got a red that he can bring to the bottom right hand pocket. Don't think he'll be looking at playing any plants. He's got two reds that are sitting in the pack there. So let's concentrate on this shot. So he's on yellows, must have been an open table. It's strange because there's only three yellows left. Must have got distracted talking about the rules. So it's a nice yellow that he's just tried to promote it. So Frankie's coming in with 7 reds still on the table, as Gary must have planted off the break and kept going. So this is Frankie Gillen. You saw him reach for the chalk that he's got just over his left shoulder. Not quite sure what he's looking at, probably looking at the black and the yellow where it is, and whether that red near the middle comes past. At the moment he's got to deal with this yellow closest to the left hand cushion. I think he's going to try and double it back into the right hand bottom pocket. That, unless he's trying to cut it in the... Yeah, he's tried to cut it. He's tried to cut it, and it looks like he tried to sort of put it in front of that yellow to prevent yellow coming into that bottom left hand pocket. Because Gary Swift has only got 3 yellows left, so he's tried to open up the congestion to make it more amenable to potting his yellow balls. So Frankie Gillen, what can he do here? He's on the red balls. He's got quite a few of them out. But he's still got this red that's not going anywhere in the bottom left hand of screen because the yellow's in the way of going into the bottom left hand pocket. So he's tried to play tight and play a snooker I think he might have been successful because there's two reds that you need to go past in order to hit these two yellows that are together, and I don't think the white actually goes through there. Let's see if Gary Prismy won. No, he's actually playing off this back cushion. And it must have been a total, and both players must have agreed that that was a total snooker, so hence Gary was able to simply just play off the cushion with no fear that no ball was going to touch. Because of course, with every shot under the World 8 Ball Pool Federation rules, either an object ball or the cue ball must hit a cushion. After striking a object ball. So let's see, I wonder what Frankie's thinking here, what he's looking for. He's on the red balls. He can take a red up to the top right hand pocket, but I'm sure he would have played that shot by now if he was interested. He's looking for other alternatives, I think. He might be trying to play off a red onto the yellow onto the red to try and get a plant into that middle pocket. No. Try to plant, but he might have tried to plant into the middle pocket off his own red. Now Gary Swift. He's on yellows. Just playing that slowly to cover that pocket totally. And I would say Frankie would seize the opportunity to get that red out of there now and run it to this opposite pocket. That's the shot he's going for. Try and put it over the bottom right hand pocket. Or has he changed his mind? That's it. So that's run all the way down and in. So that's a good pot. And he's not sure whether he wants that. But he'll take it at this stage. That is what it is. So he's going for a double there. Interesting positions here. Gary hasn't been able to pot any more balls. Of course, he doesn't want to pot that yellow that's over the pocket, because that's his last position ball. But I think he would be on that yellow there that's closest to the back, black. But probably the only place it might go is the top left-hand pocket. So he's going to move this other yellow. He's just promoted it and moved it clear of the red that was stopping it from going into the middle. So Frankie Gillen, he's just going to push that red towards the pocket, I would say. He's potted that. Nice pot. And now I would think he would take that red that's along the cushion, the top cushion, and try and pot it in the top left-hand corner. He doesn't look keen on that. He's looking at other alternatives. He might be looking to try and cut that red into the middle left. So it's Gary Swift here. He's managed to dislodge that yellow from that pack. So all of Gary Swift's balls are now in the open, and of course Frankie's are too, but Gary's are in a better position. A little bit of pressure on Frankie here if he wants to win this this frame. He's got a fair bit of work to do. He might want to try and take this red nearest the white. Yeah, so it's not the red I thought, but he's going to probably try and cover this pocket to prevent these two yellows going in here, or at least prevent one of these yellows from potting. Yeah, that's what he's done there. So Gary Swift is simply just going to correct that situation and move it away. A little bit of cat and mouse now, but that means that Frankie, if he wanted to, he could take this red and pot it in this bottom right-hand pocket. In fact, all of Frankie's balls except that last one to the left of the white are very pottable. It's a question of whether he wants to take the game on, the frame on at this stage. Because it won't be long before Gary will get a shot at potting these last three reds, the last three yellows, sorry. So I think Frankie needs to put a bit of pressure on and maybe clear. Well, basically he needs to try and pot out himself. And it's tricky to get onto that last red, which is this is why okay, he's got this red now, but I'm not sure why he didn't take this red a lot earlier, because now he's got to negotiate how he's going to get back onto these two balls, the two reds near the black. You've got a good angle there of how Frankie cues up. Good camera work there. And he's missed a pot by trying to force the position. So, Gary Swift, can he do it here? So he's got to take this yellow into the bottom right hand. He's got that last yellow, he's got to pot over the bottom left. He's got to give himself, he's given himself a chance on the 8 ball, the black ball. Trying for the up the table. Looks like it's going to be, it's played that nice and slow, giving it every chance, and it's just sat over the pocket. So what can Frankie do here? He's certainly under pressure, because you can see where the black ball, where the 8 ball is. It's right over the pocket.
If you need any decisions now in the men's matches, come to the top table, please.
He's bridging. He's going to take this red into the bottom left-hand pocket. There's only one way here, and that is to pot out. Maybe he's thinking of snookering, but I don't think that's a good option at this stage. That's what he's taken. So it's up to Gary to get out of this situation. In fact, it may not even be a snooker. That white runs past the red, and if not directly onto the black, you can certainly play that black off the cushion. I think Gary's looking at that right now. Yeah, he's aiming for a spot on the cushion. And he's played that beautifully, and Gary Swift takes a 3-1 lead in this wheelchair event here at the 2018 World Championships. This is a round robin match in the preliminary rounds of this wheelchair event. Gary Swift, former world champion, leading, and of course it's a race to 4, so he only needs one more frame to take this match. Stan Grant is racking up the balls here for these players, and it's Frankie Gillen to break the next frame. Fascinating to watch the expression on Frankie's face, depending on what he's doing. So he got into those a little bit better, and you could see he potted off the break. So let's see what Frankie can do now. Got to try and find some inspiration here to get back into this match. He needs to win 3 frames straight if he's going to win this match against Gary Swift. Of course, so far in the tournament, Frankie has won both his matches, whereas Gary has won one and lost one. So you would have thought this is going to be an evenly fought out match. Of course, we know that Gary Swift is a former world champion. So Gary now probably going to gently break. Just broke one ball out of that pack. Arrives on the scene. He wants someone to have a look at this. Ask for a referee, I think. He's chalking up. He's waiting for some sort of decision. Maybe, or maybe he's looking to see if it's a touching ball on that red, which means that he needs to fire away. because he doesn't want to go for that red if it is a touching ball, and the angle that he plays gives any indication of moving that red. Yeah, that's what he's looking at. So it might be confirmed for him that it's not touching. He's going to try and double this red into that left middle pocket, I would say. That's a lovely shot. Unfortunately, he's promoted. Something, they must have fouled there. So now Gary's in on the reds, and he would have 2 shots here. Whether he fouled on that red, but one of the good things is that in the meantime, with that previous shot, Frankie has promoted his yellow over to this bottom right-hand pocket. So that'll stand him in good stead. It's like a bit of an investment, because there's those 2 reds that don't pot to this bottom right-hand pocket. And it looks like Gary's not interested in going for game at this stage, which you can't blame him, because the next shot was on two balls that are clustered close to the red, because he has got 2 shots, so he's going to probably try and promote at least one of these balls. Now he's deliberate foul straight back. He figures Frankie can't pot out from here, and while that ball is a menace there over the pocket, it's going to prevent him from winning as well. So he's figured it's best to give the foul back, get rid of that ball, and to say, here you go, Frankie, see what you can do. So I don't think Frankie will be able to pot out from here, but you never know. I'm sure he'll give it a go. He should be able to pot that. He played that really nicely. I thought he'd get a better result as far as blocking that yellow that's close to the red out, but that's okay at this stage. He's got 2 shots. He should be able to cut that yellow back into this left corner pocket from where he is. He's also looking at this other yellow. Red prevents it from passing into the bottom right. This is WEPF live stream coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool. Production, Yvonne Armitage. Done a great job in putting this together for us this year, with some able assistance from Stan Grant. It looked like a foul to me. I think he's acknowledging it, because the ball needed to hit the cushion. As you can see, that yellow is not touching the cushion. So Gary Swift going to have a shot on this red over the cushion, probably try and double it onto. I thought he might try and double it onto the red, which is over the top right-hand pocket. Playing it the way he did, I don't think so. So Gary has another shot here. He'll probably try and put that red closest to yellow behind the yellow. Right straight into the cushion, and it's a great shot. So he's taking command of that pocket. And I think Frankie's going to have his work cut out to try and get back into this frame. But I'm sure it won't be for the lack of trying. So he might be looking at trying to get that yellow out of there now. Or is he going to give another deliberate foul? Play the yellow out. He's going to play. He's playing on the distant yellow. I'm sure he'll be trying to put it closer to the pocket. That's a lovely shot. He's actually potted that ball. So his break continues. Now will he give him a deliberate foul and put the yellow, plant the yellow onto the red? That looks like what he's aiming for. It's not quite as close as what he would have liked, because I think that red on the rail actually will go past that yellow. So that's what Gary's gone down and had a look at. But in fact he can actually play it across to the opposite corner pocket, which he does so right now. And I thought it was going to fall, but it just lost its momentum, and it's quite taking a comfortable spot there, right in the middle of the pocket. And that'll be a position ball for Gary Swift. So he's got another one to play. Contemplating. May want to. He's obviously not interested in the plant of that red onto that corner red. He's probably studying ways to try and how he's going to move that cluster of three balls on the black spot. So he's played a deliberate foul. That's interesting. Just nudge the balls. Maybe he's trying to hoax Frankie into trying to go out and taking the gamble that he won't pot out, and that they'll be left all for him to come and sweep up. Interesting. It's an interesting shot. So he's taking the easy ball. Now that bridge doesn't seem to have any security at all, but I'm sure he's done it many times before. He's played that very well. Didn't have any trouble at all with it. Kept a steady cue. And this will pot in the middle. Either one of these two yellows will pot in the middle, but the one nearest the red probably pots easier. Oh no, now he's decided he's looking at the outside one. Frankie Gillen. He's still got two shots. His opponent gave him a deliberate foul. Now he's just doubled that out and he's left himself a pot on this yellow in the bottom right hand corner. So if he can find his position onto that last yellow, the black is very much potable in this bottom right hand corner as well. So we'll see how he plays this. He's had a good look at where that yellow ball he's going to try and get position on is, how it lies. So he will, normally you would think that you'd try and screw back on this yellow, but you can probably run through as well, like that, but unfortunately he missed the pot. And every picture tells a story, and the look on his face would tell you that unfortunately he didn't get that pot. So now I guess this is what the ultimate plan was for Gary Swift, that he would get another shot. Now he'll try and capitalise. He's managed to break those balls nicely. So everything is potable now. He's just got to execute. The obvious ball now is to take this red closest to the white. The top left-hand corner.
Come on, Bella.
So you can see our major sponsors logo there, Supreme Pool Tables. And he's missed. So he's going to let his opponent here in with an opportunity. He can play that yellow into the middle pocket. There's cut available there. But I think he's got other things in mind. I think and Frankie's going to he's looking at playing this yellow closest to black and leaving the white safe. No, he's looking at that cut on the yellow, which is what we first talked about. But I don't think, by the look on his face, I don't think he's made his mind up yet. It's a funny look with the pointed lips. He's looking down over his glasses. Now maneuvering himself into position, looks like for the play on the yellow here nearest the cushion, bottom of screen. So have to push this yellow out and leave the white behind the line of the black. No, something has to hit here. That's why he's shuffling in his chair, I think. And that did happen. So he got them both out. Got them both out, but it's Gary Swift to the table now. Everything's open. If so he's just gone down there to look at I think where that exactly the lie of that red closest to yellow, because he'll probably try and pot this red, leave himself on that red closest to yellow into that top left hand pocket. That's come off. No, that's so that red now will probably only go in the middle pocket, possibly, depending on what the line is with the yellow that's in between. Otherwise he's got to go for this red that's nearest the middle right pocket. So it's a nice pot. Nice pot on the red, and now he's got the red in the opposite middle pocket, and the black will be dependent on how hard he hits this this red when he pots it. Whether he's going to leave himself on into the middle pocket or the top right hand pocket, or whether the white's going to go back and try and put it back in the. He's played that nicely controlled. That's a beautiful shot by Gary Swift, and of course he's left himself a very gettable winning black here at this match. So we'll just watch this shot. So it's Gary Swift of England defeats Frankie Gillen of England 4-1 in this round robin match of the wheelchair event at these 2018 World Championships. They're both having a little bit of a chuckle. That's a nice to see. So viewers, wherever you've been watching, stay tuned because there's plenty more action to come. But that's it from me for now. Joe Fanto signing off on WPF live stream.
It's a great shot, mate.